Okay, I'm going to click on collect, and then I'm going to store the latest run so we can see all of these on the graph at once. And now I'm going to turn the stir bar on. I've got the base in there, and we'll get a beginning temperature. As soon as I get my temperature probe down in the mixture, or in the base. Okay. So actually there is nothing in there but the base so far. And I rinsed this out 3 times very thoroughly with distilled water. So now this is going to be our baseline. So I actually started that a little soon. And now I'm going to go ahead and put the acid in, and let's see what kind of change we get. So now we can see there's a change, and it's not nearly as high as it was with the last reaction. So this is with 20 milliliters of sodium hydroxide and 40 milliliters of acid. I'm going to go ahead and stop this. And I'm just going to take my, whoops, my computer just, there we go. I'm going to take my analyze tool and interpolate, and I'm going to read the temperature along that spot. So it looks like we started at 26.66 and we went up to 29.68. So that's 3.02. And I'm going to put that on the second page. Page 2. So our volume was 20, and our temperature change was 3.02. For this next run, let me go back to page 1 on the graph over here. I'm going to use 10 milliliters of sodium hydroxide. You can see our first run is in red, our second is in blue. And before I hit collect, I'm going to put the sodium hydroxide in so we get the right temperature to start out with. I am using a pipette each time to make sure I get my volume exactly at what I want it to be. It's a little difficult to pour the exact amount. So 10 milliliters of sodium hydroxide. And now I'm going to hit collect so we can get a good beginning temperature. I'm going to store the latest run. And so notice our starting temperature each time is just a little bit different. I'm not really sure why that is. It may just be the AC coming on and off. So this time the acid is going to be 50 milliliters because we have to add up to 60. And also, I told you there was a second thing we're doing to make sure that the data is giving us what we need to know. And the second thing is that both of these are the same concentration. Let me put my stir bar on. Okay, and now I'm adding the acid. So I've made sure that the acid and base are the same concentration, and they are both 1 molar. Okay, we're getting a rise. It's not as much as the other two. So the mole ratio I'm looking for is probably going to be increasing the sodium hydroxide instead of decreasing it. I'll go ahead and stop that now. And I'll get the statistics for that run. And I just want the latest. And the minimum temperature was 24.46 and the maximum was 26.87. So that is 2.41 for this temperature change. And I'll go ahead and put it on the other graph with 10 milliliters of sodium hydroxide. So I just have to slide this, oh, oops. Now I'm going to put 10, and I said 2.41. I'll go back and check all the numbers to make sure that your graph is correct.